Hello, welcome to another episode of Global with Ola, and I'm so excited again to be here with you. And today we are actually going to be addressing a topic titled Choosing Education with Intention and Not Desperation. What do you want to achieve with your education, right? In a wave where people are just looking to leave the country or just relocate or try somewhere new. Are you just going to pick school because of you feel like you want to leave a country, or you are going to leave the country with intention, full plans as to how your life is going to turn out? Today we have an amazing guest in our midst. He's someone that has really inspired me over time. I think he was one of my first mentor. He finished from the Department of Human Anatomy in Olabisi Onabanjo University as the first student to graduate to the first class. I don't even know why I'm smiling, but I'm so excited to have him on board. It is no other person but I was about to say his name, but I will just give him the floor to introduce himself, of course. So you have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you for having me. My name is Bamidele Richard Babatunde. That's the full name. And what else do you want to know? I'm currently a PhD student in Case Western Reserve University in the United States. And let's say if you want to know any other thing.
Yes, we do want to know a lot of things about you. I mean, you finished with the first class from Human Anatomy Department. I think before you, nobody had done that. So now, I was thinking, when you first finished with the first class, what was your immediate plan?
Finishing with the first class, in Human Anatomy, was not something that came, as a surprise. I actually knew that I was going to finish with the first class, even right from my 200 level. So it's something that I know, despite the fact that, history has it that no one has ever done it, but I know that I was going to do that right from my 200 level because God told me so. So I just came on the world. I came to that world and I worked, His grace, it happened. I said that to say this because I knew beforehand that I was going to do that. I kind of have some projected plans. One of the things I have always been privileged to do and to understand about life is at every junction of my life, I've never asked myself the question, what next? Before I get to a junction, I know. It's more or less knowing what to do per time and per season. So right from my 200 level, I've always known that I was going to go into academics. So when I finished, with the first class, in 400 level, when I completed my course, I knew I was going back into the system. So that's it.
Okay, so before you were done, you already knew what was next. So you knew you were going into academics. Then, did you know the exact way you were going to get into it?
Actually, when I finished, I wanted to go back into the system that produced me. That was the intention. And I was privileged to have a mentor. There is no how I want to talk about the story of my life without mentioning the name, of Charlie. We call him PD, Charlie. He's someone that I've always looked up to, and he has been with me right from my 200 level. I knew that I was going to go back into the system, although at one point or the other, I knew within myself that probably at some certain point, I was willing to step out of the country. I wanted to experience, research, academics, in another, because the way we do stuff back home. So I wanted to experience something different. But the immediate intention was to go back, into the system, that I came out from. That's Olabisi Onabanjo University.
If I'm correct, you knew you wanted to go back into the system. And of course, you must have been hearing a lot of people tell you that, why are you not, expanding your horizon, and why are you not trying elsewhere? You must have had people say, why don't you try out another university or another institution? How did you believe that staying was the right decision you were making?
One thing that we all understand about life is you must have a projection. Just like I said, there is no how we want to talk about, life generally without talking about the divinity. When you understand some certain things about your life, you don't fall under pressure. People will give suggestion. You will hear, one or two things here and there, but in the midst of that, you will not lose your wisdom. I know that at some point I was going to step out. I just finished. I wanted to go back, into the system that I came out from. It's only a matter of time. It's not as if that's what I'm saying. Just like the topic we are discussing this morning, choosing education, intention. So when we talk about the intention actually has to do with the why. Why do you want to do this thing? So the place of the why, the place of intention is more or less like a projection. You have a projection, you have a projected goal. So when you know and you understand where you are going, you realize that people will advise you, they will say one or two things, but you know where you are going. So once you know where you are going, you know the right time to pick up different tools that you will actually use when you get to that destination. I know it's only a matter of time. I was going to step out based on direction, based on precision. You just know what to do.
Would you say that at that point in time when you decided to stay, you were building momentum for the next phase? Because from listening to you, I can tell that you're someone that projects a lot. You plan ahead. You're like right here, right now, but you're thinking of 5 years down the line. Were you building momentum for the 5 years down the line at the time you decided to stay after your undergraduate studies?
Okay, let me bring in this. When I got back into the system, I could remember, that was maybe 2018 or thereabouts when I started, as a lecturer in the department. I remember then that when I got back, immediately I was already planning for my retirement. One thing is, once you know where you're going, things don't come to you, as a surprise. I mean, that is the place of God. I was already planning. I was already projecting. When I finished with my postgraduates, I also did my master's in the department. Just like I said, the place of a mentor, it cannot be overemphasized. Because at some point, the truth be said, despite the fact that from the beginning I knew I was going to be stepping out, at some point I wanted to just step back in Nigeria because some stuffs were happening and I was like, wow, where am I going? I had everything, different things were just happening for me. I was like, let me just settle down. And that is the place. That's the place of comfort. I was a little bit comfortable at some point in my life, and that is the place mentor came into the picture. Because the person I was following, Dr. Charlie, at some point he was doing a postdoc in South Africa. At some point, he stepped down to the US. I dare not dream small. So there was a recognition that I think I have a place I'm going. The person you follow has a lot to do with whatever thing you're going to make out of life. I appreciate God for that, for bringing him into my life. Definitely. Through him, there was like a reignition of the intended destination.
Yeah.
The period of time when I was in OU, definitely, I was there and I was building, capacity, building a lot of things because I know definitely there is a projection ahead.
Wow. So if I'm correct now, you started thinking globally as a result of the kind of relationship you had with your mentor.
Definitely. It was part of the picture. Even though personally, I have a projection, but in coming into my life, there was this refinement. When you're seeing some certain things that you're like, okay, you don't really have the clear picture, but the Lord brought someone into your life and there was a refinement. Okay, yes, this is it. The Lord actually used him to play that role in my life.
So our topic for today is choosing education with intention, not desperation. How did you know that anatomy was something you wanted to pursue long term? I, for one, studied human anatomy for my first degree, and at every given point in time, I would hear, okay, I'm going for my master's in public health, or I'm changing pathways, I want to be a doctor. How did you know that, okay, I'm going to stay with this and I'm going to choose this particular niche in this field and I'm going to grow through it?
Actually, let me say from the beginning, anatomy was never the intention.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not the intention. I remember back then when I was still in secondary school, I was privileged, to be sound in so many courses. At some point, even some of my teachers, okay, maybe he's going for mathematics because that's my best in achievement till today. The point, you should study medicine. All of those stuff, but God will have his way. I did JAM. Anyway, that's another story. I prepared for JAM, and unfortunately I was not able to get into my school of choice. At some point I went down to Calabar to stay with my uncle. I was okay, maybe I should just try University of Calabar, but unfortunately too, it did not comfort until OU came through. It was my mom, because I was still in Calabar, it was my mom that went to school to help me with my registration. I guess at that particular point in time, I don't think the cutoff mark, my cutoff mark was going to, go into medicine. Then we picked anatomy, and that was it. And when I got into the system, anatomy was something that I fell in love with, and also the more I grow, the more I get the picture clearer. So at that particular point, 100 level, 200 level, I just knew I was going back into academics. So
what exactly is your niche right now?
Presently, my PhD is in biological sciences.
Okay.
Yeah. It's in biological science. Here is unlike, Nigeria, whereby it's, here it's not really about the department. It's about the research, your research interest, your research area.
Yes.
It's a little bit different from our system in Nigeria. Presently, I'm doing my PhD in biological sciences, even though definitely after my PhD, I still want to go back to academics. Let me get to that place.
You build clarity over time after you started.
Yes.
So you tell people that they should just start. Technically,
Well, just starting. I would not actually say just start, because when we talk about, for me, I think my journey with God actually shaped everything about my life. It shaped everything about me, and it shaped even my intention, because you have to understand the place of why. The place of why. Why do I want to do this thing? So it's not just about starting. There should be like a projected goal. It might still look blurry. You might not really get a full picture, but there should be a projected goal, and that is actually what makes the difference. I always make this illustration when you're going to the farm. You will never see a farmer go to the farm, with a syringe. When you want to go to the farm, you are going to the farm with a stethoscope. It's not possible. So when you go to the farm, you go to the farm with the tools that you're going to be needing in the farm. What does that mean? Your destination will determine the tools you will begin to gather, and that has always been it for me. Based on the projection, based on what I know, okay, this is the next step, this is what the Lord will have me do, it actually enhances me to gather tools that is going to be used there, or that is going to be used when I get to that final destination. I think that has been the summary for me. Even when I started, just like I said, I wanted to go for medicine, but at some point, I changed the course even before the admission actually came out. Okay, you know what? Because anatomy was also part of the course anyway. I think I need to say that. It was also part of the course, okay, for anatomy. And since I was already having that notch, okay, I think I want to end up in the academics. I want to end up just like you could see the pictures, have a projection, and not just decide, okay, you know what? What I want to do, okay, let me just go for this thing. It might not really, work. Although some people definitely it could work for them. However, the reason why intention is very important, in doing whatever step or doing whatever thing you want to do or you want to accomplish, is that embedded in that intention is commitment. Because at some point, everybody gets tired. Sometimes I get tired. Even in the course of those periods, it's tough. So sometimes you be like, I don't know, I think I'm just tired. But the reason why you began the journey itself is not motivation. Now, let's assume you don't have a reason. There is no why. That's the reason why people give up easily. Because there was never a why they started the journey in the first place. And that is it. And that is a place of commitment. So, this topic we wanted to discuss, I thought of something dropped into my mind, and it goes thus. There is no course. Let's say this. There is no course, there is no education that promises you, greatness in life. No course. There is no course. There is no education that you are going to acquire that is going to promise, just pick me, do me. Once you study me, that is medicine talking. Once you study me as this course, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. No course will ever promise you that. That thing that you are looking for starts from within. And that is the reason why you realize that people go into university. Some people, what do you study? I studied Yoruba, and they are doing fantastically well outside there. And some people, they studied medicine and surgery, definitely in quotes, mentioning, I'm a medical doctor, it's a prestige, but it is not hard enough. It's not. It is not really about the course of study. Sometimes it's about you, and that's the reason why before you will choose anything out of it, before there could be an intention, your you must have been settled. Your you must have been settled, because everything is being bet out. It has to be from within. It has to be from within. So if you think that you're going to any institution, I want to go study this course, and you think, once I study this course, my struggle has ended, you might end up being disappointed. It's about you. And that's the reason why I remember years ago I always tell some of my students, there is no course I go into, I go into, or there is no institution I go to probably to study any course. I will never have been lesser than what I am today, because it's not really about the course, it is you. So once you is you, then you realize that whatever thing you want to choose, maybe you want to choose a course, there will be a solid intention. You have a goal, you have a projection, and with God, everything is going to happen.
We're saying that we cannot choose anything with intention if we have not discovered who we are as a person.
Exactly.
Okay. In this academic journey, you would advise and encourage students that discover who you are and what you want to be as a person before you can choose.
Exactly.
With intention.
You have to know you. If you don't know you, that intention cannot stand the test of time. It can't stand the test of time, because things will come. A lot of things will blow. You will question the reason why you are even in that journey in the first place. But once the place of you has been established, you have allowed God to take you through that journey. So that's the reason why, just like you mentioned the other time, people will come to you, they will advise you. People come, they come with advice. But once you know you, once you know where you are going, once you know everything is going to add up. That's the truth. I've read stories about a young man that left the US and went back to Nigeria, and he was frying dundun. For the sake of our audience, there is something we call dundun back home. It's like you frying yam. Exactly.
Okay.
That was what he was doing. And people were mocking, oh, imagine you come back from the US, you're flying hand, this and this and that. I guess, if I'm not mistaken, I guess they call the person do nation or thereabouts. I heard the story. The person is doing great based on the story, based on what I heard. So at the end of it all, it is not really about the education. It's not really about the course. It's about you. Yeah.
So you would say that the success pathways that education can potentially open up for you, you as a person need to push through to actually unlock it.
Exactly. I always make this illustration. Just imagine, Bill Gates, of Microsoft, just call, hello, Lajun, you know what? We need you in Microsoft. You'll be shocked. Yeah, how? When you get there, okay, probably they now give you a system. You know what? Operate this thing or run this software. And you're like, sorry, I don't know what this thing is. You'll be thrown out.
Of course.
You'll be thrown out. That is the way it goes. So it is one thing for God to open the door. Education can open doors. Yes, education can open doors. I came here through education. I gave it my all. The Lord helped me. I came here through education, through academics. But it's one thing for God to open the door. The place of you will come into the picture, whether that door will remain open or eventually closed.
Okay, so now it is intention bets commitment. Commitment keeps you in the room after the door is open for you by education. God.
And there would not be commitment and there would not be intention if the place of you has not really been settled.
Okay. So you would say that choosing purposefully in that case. Okay. In a situation whereby someone doesn't, like, the whole purpose concept is new to them and they don't know what to do. I just want to go to school. I'm someone that's very passionate about like education and all of that. So I always want to learn. And I am very certain that there are also viewers that do not know anything about purpose or anything like that. They just want to go to school. So how can they now navigate the place of intention?
I don't think it's as difficult as we paint it.
Okay.
I think it's complex.
Okay, perfect.
You just start from, you are good at this thing. This is you. I'm sure, most of our audience will agree with this. There are some certain things that it comes out so natural. It's just like when we're growing up, you see some individual, they could do anything. I've seen a young guy just pick one or two materials in the house and make a blender. He made a blender out of it. Now imagine you taking such a child and say that you have to go and study medicine and surgery. That is high level of insensitivity. You just know. And for some people, they'll be like, okay, I don't know, I don't care. See, God is faithful. Even when we don't even know Him, He speaks to our conscience. There are some certain that you just, okay, let me do this thing. You think it's you. It might not really be you anyway. So, yeah, that's the way it works. You just know there are some certain things, and it is not late to find your passion. I have some guys with me. They went to university. One of them studied physiology. Today, he's a solid tech guy. Don't be scared. Do you know one thing? If you have to be sincere with ourselves, at some certain stage of the life of some individual, they themselves will know, I'm not supposed to be here. They will know. That notion will be birthed. I don't think this is me. And why some of them, they will be privileged to know what they should do. But do you know the problem? So I will go back and start again. The problem with some people, why some people will die unfulfilled, is that you think that I will now go back and start learning that thing again. Let me just remain here. That is how some people short-lived themselves. That is how some people will slim fit the vision. You will realize that those individuals, if care is not taken, the problem will be they will now decide to live that vision through the life of their children.
Okay.
That will be the problem. When you refuse to pursue what will bring about a fulfillment to you, the danger therein is that you will end up living through your children, masking the destiny of your children. That's why you see some of you see some parents now. I know my child must be a lawyer. Go and check well. There's some parents, there is an underlying factor. They wanted to go for law, but some of them probably but my children, who told you that child will also be a lawyer or we go for that course? So that is the reason why I will advise, regardless of the price to pay. Indeed, it's not easy. I tell you it's not easy. But you want to ask yourself, is it not worth it for me to take a step back, to refine myself, to realign into what makes me me, than for me to continue in that pathway that is not you, but the fear of what will people say? No, it's good. I mean, it's something that we may actually, end up living to regret.
Now, I know some people have already chosen out of desperation. I wanted to leave the country, and I'm already in it, and I don't like it. How can they retrace their steps?
So everything lies with an intention. Okay, for example, somebody gain admission, maybe the original intention, I want to study medicine, I see myself in the medical line, I see myself making impact in the medical profession, but you know what, I don't think I can stay at home. Let me go for the next available course, which is anatomy. If you see such an individual, I will not say that person chose out of desperation.
Okay.
As much as the intention has not been tampered, you will realign eventually. The intention of that person, let me just go for anatomy. At least once I finish with an anatomy degree, there is no how, and probably you finish with the best of results. It gives me an advantage to go back as a direct entry student to go study medicine. Most of the time, what we see is the outward.
Yeah.
You don't know what that person is working out. You don't know the plan, what that person has visualized.
Yeah.
We might be looking at, imagine, and imagine he should have gone for medicine, but now look at him, he's doing physiology. What a desperation. Let me go for the physiology instead of staying at home. Definitely let me go. I mean, in as much as the parent has the capacity, why not? Let me go for the physiology, finish with the best of results, then go back as a direct entry student.
Okay.
The intention is still kept.
Okay. In a situation whereby a student moves abroad because they wanted to japa, just give me any course, and they still have their intention intact that after that any course they would still find their path back to their main course, then they are still safe, technically.
Yeah. In as much as the intention is still intact.
But in a situation whereby they are listening and they are like, okay, I just picked any course, they can still get motivated to believe that, okay, you are doing any course that you just picked right now, but you can still realign yourself to that original vision that you had.
Exactly. Don't forget where you are going. Don't forget
where you're going.
Don't forget the destination. Always remind yourself the reason why you chose that thing in the first place. I tell you, I have quite a number of reasons why I do what I do. That's the reason why, when some people, I get tired. That's the truth. I'm human. I get tired. Sometimes you feel so, you feel lazy. But when you remember the reason why you chose that thing in the first place, it keeps you going. It keeps you going.
So now, in that, taking another course you don't necessarily need, I'll take that as a detour. Right. In that detour phase of your life, you already knew you wanted to be in the academics, you already knew that you want to expand or experience a global kind of education, right? What did you build before making that move? Okay,
education is not a scam. Let me say that. There should be a difference between you that went to school and someone that did not. There should be a difference. And whatsoever thing you find yourself doing, give it your all. That is one thing. That has been my philosophy about life. Whatsoever thing I find myself doing, I give it my all. Because why? You never know which will open the door. You never know. So I don't want to get to a point in my life where I'll be like, I wish I did this thing. I want to get to a point where, thankful to God, I gave my all to this thing. So finishing with a good grade is very important. It opens doors. I tell you for free. Finish with the best of results. Give it your all, your total all. Pick up skills. Try collaborating. I'm just speaking randomly now. Randomly, because when I say pick up skills, when I say try collaborating, everything actually has to do with where you are going.
Yes.
You get it, just So where you are going will determine the tools you will gather. For me now, I know everything is not for me. Everything is not for me. All because I want to gather things now. Because sometimes a lot of people, they don't know the difference between being productive and being busy. You might be occupied, you might be busy, and something in you is telling you that you are doing something, yet you are not doing anything. If what you are busy doing does not add up to your destination, you have no reason doing it. And I don't blame them totally, because we are coming from a community whereby they just want you to do something for them to know that, hey, look at that guy, look at that. Yes, you are not needed there. So there are some certain things that I know. So all of this that I'm telling you, it's an over the years work. Understanding, knowing you. So that's why there are some things that I don't, it's not me. No matter how it's not me. That is not me. You don't go anywhere. You know the association to keep. All of those things is being built because you understand the place of you. So going oversee education, definitely you need a very strong CGP. If possible, while in school, try to publish your work, publish your projects. Even if it's just one or two papers, they want to see it. That's one of the things they love seeing here. Skills. Probably the university you are going, they don't really have some of those machinery, some of those equipment. Just go, pay. I remember before coming here, I went to a private university. I paid to go and, to go and learn PCR. I paid. Invest in yourself. In as much as you have a clear path of where you are going. Then you realize that you will gather what you need to gather. Most importantly, I will say this. Indeed, I could say, by the special grace of God, I finished the first class, my master's degree. It was also a distinction. I had publication. Before coming here, I had over maybe 7-8 publications or thereabouts. I had some skills. However, trying to study abroad, you realize that some people are even given the fully funded PhD scholarship and they don't even have half of what you have. Yeah, why sometimes, the place of favor, the place of grace cannot be overemphasized. I have to be sincere with you. Because even the best of grade that you think you have, I have this. By the time you put it, just oppose it with some people, because everybody is applying all over the world. In fact, when you see some CV, you need to withdraw your CV yourself. That, I'm so sorry. Things like that. Yeah, that's true. We have to be sincere with ourselves. The most important thing is do your part. Allow God to do his part. Do your part. Allow God to do his part. You have a chance. Everyone has a chance. So don't ever think that. Because sometimes even at the mention of I want to go pick up PhD scholarship, you see some people's reaction. I remember back then when I finished with my master's degree, I refused to pick up PhD form. Some of my colleagues that we finished our masters together, some of them have even started their PhD in the department, and I have not started anything. I just knew I'm going out, and something is going to click. I know something is going to click. I've done my parts, and then I know God is faithful, and it worked. However, while waiting for that, I was doing something. Do you get the gist? I was doing something. Don't ever, because of American dream, and you stop living. No, keep doing whatever thing you are doing. If it worked, good and fine. If it doesn't work, you are not left behind. You are still doing something. So that is it.
So if it doesn't work, you try again until you get this.
Try again. I tried about twice before I got it. So try again. Yeah.
So you tried twice for the same institution?
I tried. It was different institution. You kind of apply to different universities. Definitely before you choose the university itself, you should know that it's part of my option. And what we have is it's clear.
Now that you're in the US and you've been here for a bit studying your PhD, what would you say that clarity you had when you were applying? I have this American dream, I'm going to be fully funded. What did that clarity give to you even after arrival? You must have gone through a lot of challenges. You must have questioned yourself. Yeah, what did that clarity give you after starting your journey?
I think it kept me going. That's the most important thing. It kept me going. I'm married. I have a baby girl. I have my beautiful wife. Just like I said, they're actually one of the reasons why I do what I do. So it kept me going. And there are some certain realities, that you have. God cannot fail. He doesn't make mistake. That is one thing. So the pathway might look rough, I like get there, but one thing he doesn't make mistake. He doesn't. So he's not a man that thinks, what I said yesterday, sorry, there's a change of plan, I'm sorry, I never knew that I would not be able to do it. No, he doesn't do that. So that clarity definitely, keeps you holding. Mm-hmm. It keeps you moving. It keeps you progressing. Even it happened, the same thing. With our Lord, when the Bible talked about because of the joy that was set before him, and that is the place of clarity. He saw something. That is the place of attention. We are coming back to the attention again. Because of the joy that was set before him, he despises the shame and endure the cross. That's the sum of our life journey. I've just given you the sum of our life journey with that. Because of the joy. So something must be set before you. That clarity was set. Even when it endured the cross is not, that's what most of us are battling with. We have different, your cross might be different from my own cross. Mm-hmm. But one thing will keep you going. What you have set, what has been set before you, and that's the place of clarity. It works together. Once you are looking at something, I'm almost there. You will get there. And most of the time, we always think that we don't have what it takes. We actually have what it takes to get there. We do have what it takes. The problem is we undermine ourselves. We underutilize ourselves. I always cite this example. Let's assume you have a layman. This man cannot walk. He cannot walk. So the only thing he does is, he begs, he sits by the roadside. So somebody just tap him one day. You know what? Let's assume maybe your room. They place the man in your room, and somebody tells you, probably somebody just entered it. You know what? There is a suitcase outside of this house. It contains $1 million. If you can get there, it is yours. That is when you know that the name can work. It's the truth. That is so. What happened there? Something was said before him. That's it. So you see, you cannot undermine the capacity of a man that was made in the image of God. So there is still something in most of us that we have not awoken. That is when you realize that lame man can walk. What do you think we keep him going? $1 million, $1 million. Before he gets there, he will get. And naturally speaking, when you go to the same man and tell him, you know what, go outside of the door. What do you think that man will say? I cannot walk. Because why? Nothing was said before him. Which brings us back to the place of intention. Why? The why behind the action. The why behind the choosing. The why behind the destination.
So when they know the why behind it and what they want to achieve with the education, then they are able to push through regardless of whatever it is they are faced. But when the why is amiss, then when they start the journey, scholarship or not, funding or not, then the chances of them pushing through to the very end is very limited.
Very slim.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Bamidele. We are so grateful. I love to call you Professor Bamidele because I've been calling you Professor since I think before you even did your masters. I was like Professor Bamidele, and now en route to that. I am beyond grateful that you're able to share this insights with us. I have a very interesting question though. I know some people might want to reach out to you. Is that possible for them to, or no? You are not comfortable with that?
That's why we are here. That is why we are here. I'm very, very much comfortable to do that. The Lord will send you to, into when you get to your destination. Mm-hmm. That's another thing you have to understand. Getting to that destination is not for you to sit down. Once you get there, the Lord expects you to worship Him. So that's why we are here. Definitely, anytime.
Okay, so what is your preferred mode of contact? Would you say your email address? And would you be comfortable with us including your email in this drop-down box? It will be in the chat section, by the way.
Please do.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing this insight with us today. We are more than grateful. Just in case you have not subscribed to Global with Ola, please do subscribe. We are taking the world through the lens of education, and I am super excited to see what you do with this information that you've been presented today. See you next time now. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.